Welcome back to Movie Matchmaker, where we not only review movies, but also help you discover similar films with intriguing plot twists. Today, we're diving into Final Destination, a 2000 supernatural horror film. Directed by James Wong, Final Destination follows a group of high school students who narrowly escape a fatal plane crash after one of them, Alex Browning, has a premonition of the disaster. However, their relief is short-lived as they soon realize that they haven't truly cheated death. One by one, they begin to die in bizarre and horrifying accidents, revealing that death itself is determined to finish what it started. The film explores the terrifying idea that fate cannot be escaped, blending suspense, horror, and a chilling atmosphere that leaves viewers questioning every decision the characters make. If you're looking for movies similar to Final Destination that delve into themes of fate, supernatural forces, and the inescapable grip of death, here are 5 films that fit the bill. First up is The Ring, directed by Gore Verbinski. Released in 2002, is a horror film centered around a cursed videotape that causes the death of anyone who watches it within 7 days. The film follows journalist Rachel Keller, who investigates the mysterious deaths of several teenagers, including her niece, all of whom watched the tape. After watching it herself, Rachel experiences disturbing visions and learns about the tape's dark origin, which is tied to a vengeful spirit named Samara, a young girl who was murdered and seeks retribution from beyond the grave. With time running out, Rachel races to uncover the truth behind the tape in an effort to save herself and her son, who has also watched it. The film builds tension through its eerie atmosphere, unsettling imagery, and psychological horror. As Rachel delves deeper into the mystery, she uncovers a tragic story of neglect and abuse surrounding Samara, realizing that solving the mystery is the only way to break the deadly curse. The Ring explores themes of fear, guilt, and the unknown, creating a chilling experience that leaves viewers questioning the nature of evil and the consequences of uncovering forbidden knowledge. Next is Knowing, released in 2009, directed by Alex Proyas, is a sci-fi thriller that follows John Kessler, played by Nicolas Cage, an MIT professor, who comes across a strange sequence of numbers from a time capsule opened at his son's school. Initially dismissing them as random, John soon realizes that the numbers predict major global disasters with exact dates, death tolls, and locations. As he decodes more of the numbers, he discovers that some of the events have already occurred, but others are yet to come, with the final event pointing to an apocalyptic disaster. John's quest to prevent these future catastrophes becomes urgent, especially as he uncovers a connection between his family and the prophecy. As the story progresses, John uncovers that the last event marks the end of human civilization, caused by a massive solar flare. While he tries to protect his son from the inevitable, mysterious beings known as Whisperers appear, offering salvation for his son and other chosen children. The film explores themes of fate, determinism, and the unknown, combining elements of mystery, existential dread, and hope. Ultimately, Knowing suggests that some events are inevitable, but there is a possibility for new beginnings, as the children are taken to another planet to restart life. Third on the list is The Invisible, released in 2007, directed by David S. Goyer, is a supernatural thriller that follows Nick Powell, a high school senior who is brutally attacked and left for dead after being mistaken for a snitch. As his body lies hidden, Nick's consciousness becomes trapped between life and death, rendering him invisible to the living. He is able to see and hear everything around him, but is powerless to communicate or seek help. While in this state, Nick struggles to solve the mystery of his attack, uncovering details about his assailant, Annie, a troubled girl dealing with her own difficult circumstances. As Nick's time runs out, he must find a way to communicate with the living, to save his own life before his body succumbs to its injuries. Along the way, Annie begins to sense Nick's presence and grapples with her guilt, leading to a race against time for both characters. The Invisible explores themes of redemption, guilt, and the consequences of one's actions, blending supernatural elements with a suspenseful narrative about survival and human connection. Fourth is 1408, released in 2007, directed by Mikael Hofstrom. Follows Mike Enslin, a skeptical author who writes about haunted locations but doesn't believe in the supernatural. He receives a mysterious postcard warning him not to stay in room 1408 at the Dolphin Hotel in New York. Intrigued, Mike insists on checking into the room despite repeated warnings from the hotel manager, Gerald Olin, who informs him of the room's dark history of numerous deaths and suicides. Once inside, Mike begins to experience a series of increasingly disturbing and terrifying events that seem to warp reality, as the room manipulates his perception of time and space. As Mike confronts the horrors of room 1408, he is forced to relive traumatic memories, particularly the death of his young daughter, which leads to a deep emotional and psychological breakdown. The room's relentless assault pushes him to the edge, testing his disbelief in the paranormal. The film explores themes of grief, guilt, and the inescapable nature of fate, as Mike desperately tries to escape the malevolent forces that control the room. In the end, 1408 offers a chilling portrayal of how personal demons and supernatural forces can intertwine to create a psychological nightmare. Last but not least is Premonition, released in 2007, directed by Menon Yapo. Is a psychological thriller that follows Linda Hansen, a housewife who experiences a bizarre, fragmented sequence of days after learning that her husband Jim has died in a car accident. One day she wakes up to find him alive, only to wake up the next day and discover that he's dead again. As Linda pieces together the jumbled timeline of her life, she realizes she's living the days surrounding Jim's death out of order. Determined to understand what is happening, Linda searches for clues to prevent the tragedy from occurring. As the film progresses, Linda wrestles with the question of whether she can change fate or if Jim's death is inevitable. Her efforts are complicated by her strained relationship with Jim, her conflicting emotions about their marriage, and eerie visions of the future. Premonition explores themes of loss, love, and the inevitability of destiny, creating a tense narrative where Linda must decide if she can alter her future or accept its outcome. There you have it, 5 films that will keep you guessing and questioning whether anyone can truly escape their fate. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more movie recommendations from Movie Matchmaker.